Yo.
Okay, officer, I have on film an illegal harassment by the Houston Police Department, and I've made a number of complaints which aren't being engaged in any real way. And at the moment, this seems like a further continuance of that harassment, an illegal form of harassment and an abusive form of psychological warfare being precipitated by the Houston Police Department, and seemingly some people paying them off to do so. So, I see that you're still there, but you don't have any reason to be, because clearly this abuse has been caught. So, is there a reason you are here, officer? What is that reason? Okay, well, who is that lady? What is her first name? Nicole. Well, I don't know any Nicoles who are in any position to know of my mental state. Anything that any Nicole would know would be on YouTube. Other than that, there is no reason for you to be here. Do you mean those people who surrounded me in an illegal fashion and have been precipitating abusive, threatening warfare against me? Those people? That I have the whole thing on film and you can go and watch that film? Those people? Well, then you shouldn't be here if you don't have any idea why you're continuing their abuse of me. I see you smirking, but I mean, that's clearly true. Officer, you're being disingenuous. I'm clearly being assaulted and affronted and abused, psychologically harassed in a continuant fashion. Everything that you need to know is clearly on my YouTube channel. There is clearly a number of people precipitating that abuse, and your actions are putting the Houston Police Department and all police departments at risk, because I was the one who was attacked first, and I am still being harassed. You aren't engaging this issue in any real way, and I was sent illegally to jail. You have no reason or right to be here. You are a terrorist here in America. You're terrorizing a citizen who is a model citizen, even when they sent me to the place where the most you can do is send me to that place. They said I was a model citizen. You are out of your mind trying to precipitate psychological harassment of me. You need to leave. This is inappropriate. All right, ask them through the door.
Are you intending to harm yourself or anyone else?
If it's in self-defense and they get harmed while they're attacking me, it's in self-defense. Am I intending to harm anybody? A number of people are already being harmed and you guys aren't doing anything. You're making a game out of precipitating psychological abuse around me. I have obviously said I'm not going to harm anyone multiple times. You guys are obviously the problem, precipitating psychological warfare, causing more harm and problems and dis-ease on people. This is so inappropriate. The whole police department is falling down around this abusive psychological behavior. You can clearly see the whole engagement on film. If you think that there's any problem, then you are clearly the ones who are in the wrong. That wasn't all. This is an intent to psychologically harass. If you wanted to know that, you could just watch my videos. I answered that yes or no question multiple times while you had me illegally locked up. I mean, that's exactly it. You guys don't have any authority. You just pass it off to someone else. It wasn't you. It wasn't you. Well, the person who did is over you and he's in trouble. I mean, the whole police department can't function when people are illegally getting jammed up, when they're being abused, and when I call it out on these people, they try to swing things on me. Clearly, I presented a narrative over a long enough period of time where I'm not the one who's in the wrong here. All right, thank you, officer. Have a blessed day yourself. And they're walking away. We can continue to film in case there's any issue. So he said Nicole. All the people that could be named that have been obviously participating in something where they've known that their actions are precipitating psychological abuse on a person who they were claiming to be someone they follow. Because if you're a Christian, if you're going to Lutheran High North and you were pretending not to be a Christian, or you're pretending to be a Christian, well then you're a liar, and it's difficult to trust you in any reason. Why would they trust you anyway? And then if you do follow me, well then you're just so against Jesus and the Word of God by not dealing with this issue, by still precipitating sexual abuse, by not engaging the obvious sexual abuse that has happened, by not engaging the obvious psychological harassment that's happening, by not engaging the police department are being engaged in a way where, are they being paid off? Brianna Worthing has a name called Bribeworthy on on Twitter, and exactly what I'm saying. There is no hierarchy that really holds anyone to account. It's just a gang of people who, any one of them is just, okay, well, this person messed up, take him out, put someone else in. And then this gang lords authority over this all. That's why the American sovereign Yo, Matthew Wilkins, is making these points. These people cannot be anybody who can harass me when clearly the mountains elsewhere are reacting to this situation of abuse around me. I don't believe they could have come in here without a warrant, and that's one of the reasons why, they are tied to certain legal concepts here in America. The issue is those legal concepts are being abused by sovereigns around the world, as is described in this book right here, that a bunch of sovereigns would go crazy against someone who's named the Word of God, someone named Yo, someone who Yoda's his own name, who's named Yo. Matthew Ray Wilkins, who clearly Yoda's his own name, who is Yo. That they would go power-hungry and crazy, trying to get as much power as possible, and try to abuse the American system in a way where it's just a machine, and these people are kings and whatever all around the world. They don't have to worry about the machines in those places. Those places work for them. They're trying to subvert the American machine here, just as I'm saying the Prince of Russia and Tobolsk and Russia and Tobolsk and Moscow, and the Prince of Persia and all these other places around the world, and these sovereigns, the sultans in Oman, and who's the sovereign of Israel? Because if there's a Prince of Israel against the Word of God, that would mean someone put up against me in a satanic fashion. Do you get it? And then that's Satan. They aren't actually Israel. They aren't who's ruling as God. They're who's ruling as adversary. So the fact that these people can be subverted and used by foreign sovereigns around the world, as well as seemingly, or I say these people, any just gang of police officers, because it's just a group of people, and that's what a gang is in those ways. It's a hierarchy of people. When people say gangs are kind of illegal organizations that do these things. But they even have what is the Gang of 8, right? Oh, hey, it's another thing in politics talked about as a gang. So, clearly, it's not as if Crips and Bloods and Kings and all sorts of groups, Yakuza and MS-13 and all these gangs, it's like, well, these politicians have gangs too, and, all these gangs are fighting in an adversarial way instead of, oh, there's a kingdom of heaven. And I'm pretty sure everybody, either you want to go to a burning torch, but why don't we send you there anyway? Or kingdom of heaven, well, you can go there by following the Word, who is clearly king over that. You get it? I'm going to stop this interaction here, I'm going to take this off and stop recording here. But that was ridiculous, and that is more of these people have only decided, either HPD decided now to come and do this because clearly the Like, I'm starting to record live. I'm about to start going to and recording my interactions with all of the news organizations here in the United States, here in Houston, Texas, who would have multiple reasons to listen to me. They should, that's the point, if they actually want to be considered news organizations covering anything newsworthy here and, not caught in a extreme scandal of abuse. Seemingly see, so, an extreme scandal. But okay. I mean, it seems that these people would have chosen now to do this because all of this is coming out in a way that it's quicker than they can imagine. The women are clearly caught as rapists. The men are clearly caught as rapists. The men, if they wanted the lives, any kind of good life, would have to listen to the man in authority, God, who is King everlasting into perpetuity. Matthew Ray Wilkins, who's been affronted in a way where people are going to be thrown alive in a burning sulfur lakes. It's biblical. I mean, this is rape abuse. No woman cannot be raped in this society where they can rape down the actual emperor who has control of everything, Matthew Ray Wilkins, in a fashion in public, just as they did to Jesus, who clearly, was actually fixing people's problems, unlike this gang of seemingly, isn't the president's limo called the Beast? Is that the throne of the Beast? Is he like the Beast Emperor or something that has been somehow subversively snuck into whatever? Is that Donald Trump? You do, in this limo called the Beast, is that the throne of the Beast? What's up with that? That doesn't sound like the throne of the Word of God or something. So, this is a huge scandal, and these people trying to terrorize me, make me feel uncomfortable here at my home, and they've been doing so since I was a small child in ways which it's inappropriate, treasonous, and illegal. That these people are trying to make this, well, are you going to hurt anybody or you can clearly see the mountains exploding. It says a third of mankind is going to die suddenly. It would appear that it's because of this abusive behavior that these people are not engaging in any real way in mental confusion land while this is live going on is, exactly what that, by mental confusion land I mean Babylon, because that's what that means. And the Bell, in the house of Bell, is Bella had to eat more of that? So, this is done. All these garbage-ass people who are precipitating abusive behavior, that makes the Houston Police Department look terrible. It's not like I grew up hating the police or anything, but you guys just keep harassing me in immoral, illegal ways and not dealing with the problems, even when I'm pulling as many fire alarms and doing everything that I can to actually say, there's something that you in this country need to engage, else you won't be this anymore. It's just obvious. If that was the whole point of the Prince of Russia, Tubalsk, and Meshech in this Mecca nation, Mecca and the false Islam religion, which I clearly just showed is a huge fan fiction. They're such big fans. Follow Isa. That's how it is anyway. Follow Matthew Ray Wilkins. Clearly closer to Isa than anybody else, right? It would seem as if he's my son. Father, what does he say about that? Oh yeah, go to the Bible. Don't go to that fan fiction. That Bible. The Bible that takes a dump on their fan fiction. Seriously, they took the name of the God that they claim to follow out of that Bible. That's an issue that even the Christians are going through, right? I say the Christians. Didn't Jesus go around saying the Jews and your book and stuff? Is it not his book? Is he the king of it, or is he just making points? Very relevant, accurate points which need to be engaged in mental confusion land, because that's where we're in. We're not in any kind of kingdom of heaven where this makes sense. We're in a place where they're still confused as to why they're coming and dealing with me. I mean, they don't seem to have any knowledge of why. We just got a complaint, someone named Nicole was worried. You know, again, the only Nicoles that I know is that Nicole Fritchie, because, I mean, you're clearly around this situation in an abusive fashion. You aren't engaging in, you're being silent on rape abuse. You're having kids in a rapist and abusive fashion where you're not engaging the Word of God, who you surrounded along with these other people in an abusive fashion and have not actually spoken out in any way. You've only tried to, using the gang police force, which is now falling apart because, I mean, they're being used in ways which it can't work here in America. I'm more of the police than they are, obviously, because, I mean, FBI, IA, whoever the else who doesn't want their organizations to fall would have to say that person, that man right there is clearly sovereign and is making more sense out of this situation, more logic than these law systems, which didn't Jesus come to fix? I mean, there's a spirit that you're supposed to live by, not a bunch of laws, because the laws that those Jews don't even live by, those fake Jews that I keep talking about, I'm not hateful against Jews, they just don't even follow those laws anyway. They're just pretending to follow the culture, and they don't even follow the culture anyway, and they don't even follow the name or the word or anything, and they say Jew comes from Judea, which Judea comes from Jew, and Jew is, yeah, you get it? So, I mean, you want to follow the Spirit. It's the Spirit of the living God, not a bunch of laws which lead to death. You see, it's just like that thing. They can't give you any way where you live. I mean, that comes from God, and that comes from the rights that God and sovereign over all existence has. They can only jam you up and adversarially lock you down in ways which slow you and society up. The whole point isn't to rule through police, it's to rule through a king who leads to life, not some kind of police force which is being used to hold life itself down for a bunch of people who are confused out of their mind in an abusive form because they were caught participating in abusive behaviors. I mean, this could have only happened if these people knowingly years ago got into gangs, false Christian gangs around me, and tried to execute me. And even in that, it seems as if they've been caught in a way. I mean, so they're asking if I'm intending to, I'm being harmed right now. You can see the pain that it's causing me. Those people are trying to incur more psychological and pain on me. Psychological damage, emotional damage, spiritual damage, sexual damage. I mean, these people are working in coordination. And, I mean, it's not like all of this isn't just, I mean, we're coming out of a place where all of this is being watched, but my whole point with this is, I've been watched for a long time in ways where everybody around me has been watched, but also I'm just watching and I have a perspective that people don't even understand, and you aren't going to lock me down. I mean, you're trying and it's hurting people. It's hurting everyone. It's hurting everyone on the planet. It's leading to death itself, and they're still trying to do it. So that's why all the people are condemned who've done so. That's why I've been saying, change your mind, else you're condemned for eternity. This is about to suddenly and imminently end. So, you know, it's going to imminently end. It's coming soon. So imminently, it'll be here soon. And it ends suddenly. You get it? All right. I'm going to end this. I'm going to end that, which I was recording there, and I'm going to stop recording. So, I think that just meant I ran out of battery or something. No, it had full battery, so I don't know why that would happen. Okay, well, that'll be it. That'll be it. Okay. I mean, how ridiculous is that? Again, it's more of this trying to make me feel vulnerable. I mean, congrats, you've killed everybody trying to make the Word of God feel vulnerable. I mean, seriously. Trying to make Matthew Ray Wilkins feel vulnerable when, I mean, if you wanted to actually fix the problems and not feel vulnerable yourself, you would listen to me. But you want to hurt everybody on the planet. You want to hurt everybody around you. I mean, where are you going? More mental confusion land? You're going to more listen to your bosses who would send you down a cliff and into death? I mean, actually, that is seriously, I mean, they don't give a fuck. The people in the highest positions of authority, they just care about money, and they don't even understand. Money is just a means to an end. It's not even anything. I mean, and then the people that want power, they do understand that. I mean, well, they're just going for power. It's not actually theirs. You get it? They're just snaky people going for power. It's the word. Whose it is, you know, Shiloh. You heard that? Silo? Shiloh? Is that a silo? Anyway, it's mine. So, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna, in this video as well, all right. Okay. Yeah.